Good morning, everybody. We're up here on Nolin Lake today. I've never been on the lake before. I've been in the area a number of times, but I've never actually been on the lake. And it's a pretty little lake. I'm still trying to just figure out where to go and what to see and what the lay of the land is, where the lay of the lake is. But we're looking for a good day today. It's going to be just a leisurely day. I'm not going to do a lot of paddling. I'm not going to do a lot of distance, 5-6 miles maybe. I don't know. It could be a little more. It just kind of depends. But just more of an exploratory thing. We're up here at a place called Dog Creek Recreation Area, and so far I like what I see. It's a little more development along the perimeter than what I expected, but it's but that's to be expected in a place like this. So. But anyway, today we're going to do a little fishing, and we're going to also kick off another one of our Zippo Lighter Moment stories. This one I think you're going to like, because it's probably going to be, it is without a doubt the most hilarious moment that me and my buddies experienced some years ago on a backpacking trip that we took in Arkansas. And, so stay tuned. It's coming up here in just a little bit. Thanks for joining me this morning. I harbor few regrets, but when I recently heard again the clink of a Zippo lighter, I realized that my life since Ralph left us has exhibited far too few of those moments. And I do treasure the small number that were made, and can only hope that a simple sound coming from a classic lighter will stir within me not only more self-awareness, but a greater desire to become a maker of timeless moments. And even though I do not smoke, I purchased a shiny new Zippo lighter for myself, and on those melancholy days when my mind is set adrift and I forget why I enjoyed going on those adventures, I'll flick the lid to hear that clink and use it as a reminder. So please join me as we take a look back at some Zippo lighter moments. Almost no wind at all. There's a little bit of a light breeze, but just enough to kind of cool you off. I think the high temperature today, here it is, I don't know, it's June 11th or something like that. First week of June. And the high today is only going to be like 78. And this morning it was like 51. It's really quite cool early. So it's pretty nice. But anyway, I'm using my newest paddle. This one is a breakdown paddle. I don't know if you can see this or not, but you can see I've got the notch in here, and then I've got the pins, and I've got a little, kind of like a little box area that it kind of clips into. Same length basically as my other one. It's really super light, and it has performed beautifully, actually. In fact, I liked it so much, I made one for my good buddy Rocky and sent it to him. He called me the other day and said that he had gotten it, and he proclaimed it to be a masterpiece, and he was going to hang it on his wall. So, I don't know, I guess he's going to do that, I'm not real sure. But anyway, on our last episode, last time we started talking in more depth about the Zippo lighter moments from adventures in my past with my good friend Rocky and old buddy Ralph and Kurt and my brother Ken and others, that were involved with us. And as I explained then, it's in reference to Ralph's old habit of smoking a pipe, and he used an old Zippo lighter to fire it off. And just the sound of that lighter can really trigger a lot of a lot of memories. You know, when it opens it up, it's got that distinctive clink, and then a zip, and then then you have all the huffing and puffing stuff that you use to light, whatever it is you're lighting. And but there was an incident a long time ago, back in the probably 1989, maybe 1990. So it's been well over 25 years ago, almost 30 years ago actually. And at the time I lived in Arkansas, Harrison, Arkansas, which was only about a 30-minute drive or so from the beautiful Buffalo River. And of course we floated that river numerous times and had a lot of good adventures on there, but we also did some backpacking in there. And at that time I had not done a lot of backpacking. And so I wanted to do something. There's this area called the Ponca Wilderness Area, and I wanted to go in there and just do, if nothing else, just do an overnight hike in. So I got a hold of old Ralph and Rocky and kind of convinced him to come over so that we could pull this adventure off. And sure enough, they did. And there was a guy that I worked with at the time. His name was Kevin. And he wanted to kind of tag along with us, so we didn't have any problem with that. So he came along with us. And so they came, and we were up there at the trailhead, and then of course old Ralph was never in a hurry to do anything. He just took his time, and we're all scurrying around, getting our gear on, and getting all packed and everything, and he's standing over there packing his pipe and pulling that old lighter out and, clanking it and puffing on it and getting it going. He's jabbering about something or other. And we're all just ready to go. He didn't even have his pack on yet. So eventually he does, and we take off down the trail. It wasn't really a real, backcountry trail at the first part of it anyway. It was more of a kind of a cow track old logging road that you walk down. And it wasn't too far a hike, and our camping area was a few miles down that trail, and it was within shouting distance of the Buffalo River. There's a place down there where canoers could pull off, and not far from where we were actually camping was this waterfall. It's a place called Hemmed In Hollow, and it's the tallest waterfall between the Appalachian Mountains and the Rocky Mountains. It's like over 100 feet high. And when there's been some good rain, then it flows pretty good. It's a pretty neat little waterfall. And so that was one of our objectives, was to go into that area. But anyway, it was like in March, if I remember right. Pretty chilly still, but it was warm enough where we were starting to see some canoers. But we hiked in there, and there was this one area down there where there was a lot of river cane. And it stood about 6 or 7 feet tall, and it's taller than most all of us, and it's pretty thick. But it created kind of like a barrier between where we were camping and where the river was. Anyway, we got in there and we set up camp in this clearing, and we got a campfire going, and just was having just enjoying ourselves, sitting around and chatting and telling stories and whatever we were going to do. And while we were sitting there and talking, we heard some canoers pull in down there, not far from us. Like I said, we were about just shouting distance from the river. We figured they were pulling in to hike up to Hemmed In Hollow, and we didn't really pay them any mind. And while we were sitting there, a few minutes later, I don't know, it was 5, 6, 10 less than 10 minutes later, we heard some noise coming through that river cane, a real thick patch of it. We heard some noise coming through that river cane and saw it kind of rustling back and forth and stuff, and we kind of stopped and looked over in that direction. Well, here come this guy walking through there, but he had his back to us. It's like he was walking backwards, and he was looking off in the direction where the other canoers were. It's like he was trying to find an isolated or secluded spot. And we didn't know it at the time, but what was about to transpire really caught us off guard. he kind of worked his way and got right on the edge of where we were camping. And how he didn't know we were there, I'm not sure. Because we were talking, we had a campfire going, but somehow or another he never knew we were there. At least not at that moment. He got in there, and the guy, he took a couple of quick looks back toward where the other canoers were, and he commenced to, for lack of a better term, he commenced to drop his drawers and take a dump right there in front of us. He didn't know we were there, and we just kind of just started choking and just busted out laughing. And this guy, when he heard us laugh, he jumps up, pulls his pants up, and this look of horror on his face, just caught us. He apologized and ran off through the cane, and we sat there and just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed, laughed long enough to where old Ralph's pipe went out. And sure enough, he pulls that old lighter out and clank and zip, and he starts puffing on it, and the whole time he's chuckling. He's kind of laughing under his breath, and he goes, boy, I can't say I've ever had that happen. Somebody try to take a dump in my campsite. And for years and years after that moment, we still talked about that, and we still laughed about it. And here it is, close to 30 years later, and I still laugh about it when I think about it. It was absolutely one of the most unexpected and hilarious moments I've ever had. And without a doubt, the most hilarious Zippo Lighter moment out of all of them that I've got. I'm still laughing at it. I could just see that guy's face. Oh my gosh, it was funny. It was so funny. All the memories. I sure miss those days. I sure do miss those days. Well, I'm kind of working my way up this Dog Creek arm of this lake. And I'm probably about, I don't know, maybe a little over halfway to where it enters into the main channels up there. So far, what I've seen, it's not that it lacks for scenic value, because there is an element of scenic value in it. But it's pretty ordinary, to be honest with you, at least in this area right here. Again, this is the only place I've ever paddled on this lake, so I don't know. I would suspect that there are other locations on the lake that have a higher degree of scenic value to it. But it has still been a pleasurable float today. So far, I'm not anywhere near being done. But we're gonna take a little time here and continue to work our way down to where this arm of the lake kind of spills out into the main body there. I'm just taking my time. I've only been on the lake maybe an hour and a half or so. So that's not bad. There are a few boats buzzing by. There's one there. I hope he doesn't come this way. But anyway, here he comes. I'm going to have to dodge him. Yeah, he's going to cut in front of me. And that's the problem. That same guy, it's that same boat. Well, I was a little bit further along than I thought I was. I'm already out into one of these main arms here. Just kind of turn the bend, turn the corner, go down here to where these lowdown is, and then kind of work my way back and do a little fishing along the way. And it's a lot more scenic right here. There's a lot less development. There is some. I see a boat dock way over there, and I see some houses way up in the top of the ridges way off. But right along in here, it's really pretty scenic. Way better scenery than what we had up into that Dog Creek arm itself. But for a while, I'm going to just do some fishing. I don't know if we'll catch anything, but can't get on the lake without trying it anyway. So a lot more boats on the water at the moment. They haven't been too much of a problem, but there are a lot more boats. There's two bald eagles circling. Kind of pointing in the wrong direction here. You won't be able to see them with this phone camera, but they're way up high. That ridge right there in front of us, directly above that, way up high. There's two of them. See if I can get a long-range shot of them with this bigger lens. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a good one, but let's see what we got here. You know, I've been sort of critical of this Dog Creek area here, but if you like public campgrounds, this is a really beautiful little spot here. I mean, I'm not much for public campgrounds, but just look at this. The old pine trees and shaded camp spots, and access to the lake, and really, it's a really pleasant looking campground. Like I said, I tend to shy away from public campgrounds, but this one is really nice.